Hello everyone, welcome back to Analytical Guy. Over the last 5 videos, we have been using test cricket dataset to explain various DAX concepts. So we touched base on BGT series and seen the batting statistics, how various players go forward. So this was for last 5 videos. From now onwards, I will be using global electronics retailer dataset. I will attach that in this video so that you can refer that or you can practice on your own. By the way, if you'd like to have that PBIX, the test cricket dataset PBIX, then you can comment below and I'll share that Power BI report with you so that you can see how beautifully you can create yourself. In this video, I'll walk you through the structure of global electronic retailer dataset because that will become the baseline for the upcoming videos. It is important for you to understand the dataset. So I will explain the dataset first and then I will explain you how to create the total sales versus target and year-on-year growth percentage. This video will be very critical, very important to have the basics done correctly. So once you're done with this, then you would be easily working on advanced DAX. So let's get started. Now if you see here, I have customers table, then I have date table, I have exchange rates table, products table, sales table, stores table, and target data. So we have the data dictionary. You can see various tables and various columns inside those tables. What is the meaning of those? For example, if I filter a particular table, for example, customers. So in customers, I have field like birthday, that is customer date of birth, continent, where is this customer from, country, which country is this customer from, zip code is the customer zip code, state code, city, name of the customer, gender of the customer, and the customer key. So this is all self-explanatory. So if I go to customers table, I have this data set. Right now, if I go to second table, that is date. So this is the date created by myself on Power BI. And exchange rate is a table where we have date and the currency and the exchange rate. So you will have various currencies like AUD, Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, European, Great Britain pounds, and USD. So these are the currency, and exchange rate is this on that particular date. Then we have products table. This is very important. This is a dimension table. So for each product key, I have this name, which brand it is from, the color, unit cost, unit price in USD, everything is in USD, US dollars. I have then subcategory, then I have category as well. So this is about the products table. So until now I have customers table, that is a dimension table. Then we have date table. This is again a dimension table. Exchange rate. Then we have products. Products is a dimension table. Then we have stores. You can see all the stores, the store key, then country, state, square meter, what is the size of that store, and then when was it opened. So again, stores is my dimension table. Target data, so I have year, then month name, what is the target for that particular month, year, then month number, start of month. So this is my fact table. And then sales is definitely a fact table. I have order number, then line items, and then order date, delivery date, customer key. So all the keys are there in this fact table, and these are all connected to our dimension tables. All right, so this is about my data model. So if I go to the hierarchy, you will see here. So this is my fact, product table, customers, stores are my dimension, date is also my dimension. So you can see here, exchange rate is based on date, and then target is also based on date, and that's fine. So this is how my model looks like as of now. My first objective is to create this table. So I have years in my rows, headers, then I have targets, then I have total sales, and then year-on-year growth. Also, I can add the months here. So if I add months from date table, I can add here in the year. Right now, if you expand 2017, I will have that on month basis, and percentage growth or degrowth is there, right? Then I can do conditional formatting on year growth. So if values are positive, then I can make it green. If it is negative, I can make it red, and I can further do conditional formatting on other fields as well. So how can we do this? So first of all, let's try to create our targets measure. So target is coming from my table target data. So if you see here, this is my target data, and for each date, for example, start of day January 1, 2016, I have this target, and so the target is for every month of every year, right? So this is on a monthly basis, not on date. So if you have the dates on the left hand side, you won't get the correct targets because targets are on month basis, right? So I have target, but I have to create the measure of it so that I can get the total sum. So what I'll do is I won't create a new measure. I already have the target measure. So that is straightforward sum of the target data target, right? So this is my target. So if I have this data card of target, so this will give me total target as 55 millions. So if you see in target, it is 55 million. And if I want to have a decimal over here, I can make it up to 1 decimal, and it will give me 55.2 millions as a target. So this was straightforward. Now challenge comes in calculating total sales. So total sales, if I go to my sales table, total sales should be equal to quantity. This is my quantity, right? Multiplied by the price of that quantity, right? So for example, if I see the product key 1081, quantity is 1. So the price of 1081 can be calculated from products table. So products table, if I filter 1081, or I can just search from here. All right, so it's not coming up here, or maybe I can just filter it directly 1081 and press OK. So this is my Contoso SLR camera, and the unit price is $568. So if I go back to sales for 1081 quantity 1, it is my $568. So 568 into 1 would be my sales for that particular row. So this is how I have to calculate total sales for each row. And secondly, I don't have to use this quantity because this quantity has currency code as different, like it can be USD, AOD, CAD, everything. But if you go to my products table, and you will see the pricing is in USD. So let's convert everything in USD first and then calculate the sales. So what I have done is, if I go to my Power Query, so clicking on Edit Query and going to the sales table over here, so this is how I have this table. The next step I have done is I have merged this query with my exchange rates table. So what I've done is, if I click on this cog, so I'm merging this sales table with exchange rate table on the basis of date and currency code. So one is order date and one here is date, then currency code here and currency here. So on these two columns, on the combination of these two columns, I'm fetching this exchange from exchange rate into the sales table. So once I do this, so I will have this exchange, right? And I can filter on the base of exchange rates, and then I have calculated the sales on the basis of quantity multiplied by exchange. So the quantity multiplied by exchange will be my correct sales. So I have renamed this and changed the type. So quantity bracket W exchange rate, that is with exchange rate. This is my actual quantity which I will be using. So this quantity multiplied by the price of the product will be my total sales. So going back to my Power BI, so let's try to create total sales. So if I click on new measure, I will say sales final, let's say, would be equal to. So now I have to calculate the total sales, and here we will use SUMX function. So if you have not used SUMX, it is very important to understand the concept, because this is widely used and this is quite helpful. So I will say SUMX. So SUMX returns the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in a table. So we have to evaluate each row in a table, right? And then take the sum of it. So that's why we will use SUMX. First parameter will be the table, and table here is my sales table, comma, and now I will give the expression. So expression is the quantity which I created using Power Query, this quantity multiplied by the price. So in order to get the price from the products table, as this is already connected, we can use related function. So related, so whenever there is a connection, so I'll say related, so that product key will connect with the product key in the product table, and then it will fetch the price. So I'll say related and then unit price and bracket closed. This is how I will say quantity multiplied by the price, and then whatever is there, give me the sum of all those combinations. So this will give me the total sales. Now if I copy this table and remove everything, so target will remain the same that we did, sum of all the targets. Second is the sales that we created, that is sales final, right? And I can redefine it, I can make it 0 decimal, and this is giving me in USD, US dollars, right? So this is exactly correct. Now if you want to calculate, let's say, difference between the sales and target, so I can easily say difference, let's say it is the target minus sales final. So this difference will give me positive or negative value, and again I can remove the decimals. All right, so in order, if you want to remove these dollar symbols, so you can go here and select that one, and from here formatting you can change maybe to general. This is how you can change various things. So this is not changed like this, so maybe we can go to advanced. So it should be general, or you can say decimal number. We want thousands separator as well, so this will give me the way we want, right? Same with the sales and the sales final. So if I select sales final, so instead of doing general, which I was doing, maybe we can do decimal number, and thousand separator is already enabled. So this is how you can change it. But if you want back the the currency, you can change the format to currency from here or from the top is this. So if you change from here to currency, it will change and give the dollar symbol. Right, now I want to calculate year on year. So year on year would be whatever the sales I have in this year divided by the sales I have had in the previous year. So I want to have the sales last year as well. So what I'll do is go here, click on new measure, and let's say sales last year. So what will be the formula for sales last year? Sales last year would be the total sales, and then give the function same period last year. That will give me the sales for the last year. So it will be calculate, or the sales final, which we did, sales final, and then same period last year on the base of date, and then bracket closed. If I add this in here, you will see it will give me sales last year. So you will see this sales in 2016 was 6,850, or you can say 6,850,000, 6,850,000, 538. So it's same. This value should be same as this. So this is correctly giving me sales last year. Now I want to calculate year-on-year growth. So year-on-year growth would be quite similar. So what I'll do is click on three dots, click on new measure. I'll say year, or easy, year-on-year growth demo. So this will be divide my total sales or sales final that we created this time minus sales last year, comma. So this will be numerator. Now denominator would be my sales last year, and then bracket closed. So this will be my year-on-year percentage. So I'll just add this in this visual and make it percentage from here, from formatting, and you can see this is year-on-year growth percentage. Now in case you want blank for the first year, because there is no last year before 2016, so that's why it's 0%. So what we can do is we can easily say variable growth equal to this, and then return if my growth is equal to 0, then give me blank, otherwise give me growth. So that's the beauty of using variables inside the DAX functions, inside the DAX formulas, I would say, not functions. So you can see this is blank now, and this is perfectly. So this is how you can calculate the targets, then sales, the difference, sales last year, and year-on-year percentage growth. This is very important, very handy if you're doing sales dashboard and you would like to have sales versus target, achievement percentages. We can use various different visuals to track that. For example, I can use line charts, and I can have the targets, then I can have sales final, then I can have year date in my x-axis. So you can see here it is quite similar. So my dark line is my sales and the light blue is target. So you can see it is fairly same as target, right? So there is no deviation as such, because this is a dummy data, so it is giving me near perfect target versus achievement. Generally it varies. Otherwise you can see here my total sales is somewhere around 55 million and target is also somewhere around 55 million. Somewhere around 1 lakh difference is there in between target and sales, so that shows the difference. Alright guys, so that's it from this particular video. In the next video we will talk about various other DAX concepts, and this is going to be a very important DAX series, so please stay tuned and watch the previous videos if you have not. Thanks a lot for watching.